Director of Business Services for Wales and West Utilities, and he's going to explain to us how he was able to save £2 million worth of energy costs via their energy management approach. So it's a real life case study. As I said earlier this morning, we've had a lot of theoretical examples. Here's it actually put into practice.
Thank you, Ian. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming along this afternoon. As Ian said, my name is Mark Oliver. I'm the Director of Business Services at Wales and West Utilities. And one of my responsibilities there is the management of property and facilities portfolio. I want to share our experiences and the lessons we learned from Wales and West Utilities adopting a focused approach to energy management. You're probably asking yourself, who are Wales and West Utilities? We were formed in June 2005 following the acquisition by a consortium of investors who were headed up by Macquarie, who were an Australian bank, and they bought the company from National Grid. We've recently been acquired by CKI, who already own a gas network in the north of England. So we own, operate and maintain the infrastructure, the gas network infrastructure throughout Wales and the southwest of England. We provide the gas emergency service, so this is the 0800 111 999 number, so we attend to all public reported gas escapes. Sounds fairly straightforward, but we have to get to 97% of these escapes within an hour, so it provides some logistical problems in busy times. And we invest around £2 million in the network every year to make sure that our customers get a safe and secure supply of gas. We've got about 7.5 million consumers in our network. We're a gas distribution company, so we don't sell gas and we don't bill customers. So today's presentation, I'm going to run through what our challenges were in terms of energy, what we did to address them, so what solutions did we put in place, what results were achieved, and I'd just like to share some thoughts and recommendations with you at the end. So what challenges did we face in the business? Everybody should be familiar with this. Over the last couple of years we've seen significant increase in energy costs, with prices changing quite volatilely by the week. And we have no dedicated in-house expertise to manage our energy requirements. There's growing demand for information from inside and outside the business to support accreditation bodies such as ISO 14001 and our regulatory reporting requirements for the Health and Safety Executive and our regulator Ofgem. And we had limited management information on energy efficiency for the individual sites. So our operational teams had no visibility of their energy usage, and it made it very difficult for us to set cost reduction targets. And we found it difficult to manage and coordinate our complex portfolio. So we've got hundreds of sites sort of around our network, and we've got limited, or in some cases, absolutely no data whatsoever. And we knew when we took over the business that we had to make a commitment to improve our performance and reduce our energy costs. So given these key challenges, what did we do to address them? So through a competitive tender process, we appointed an expert energy advisor, and that was UES Energy. And key to this appointment was that we wanted a partnering approach, which was not an arm's length transactional process. And with UES Energy on board, we developed a strategy with key themes which focused on the energy procurement process and supporting governance arrangements, the energy billing and validation process, detailed reporting and relevant management information for all of our sites, and then we had a commitment to improve our energy efficiency and to introduce some renewable projects again across our portfolio. Time flies when you're enjoying yourselves, they say, but we're now in our 6th year of our partnership with UES Energy. So let's have a look at these solutions in a little bit more detail. Our integrated procurement strategy is based on a mixture of financial, regulatory and commercial factors. And to ensure corporate buy-in, we sought executive board approval, and part of this was for the approval of contracts at short notice to take advantage of favourable market conditions. UES Energy will track and monitor the market for us against upper and lower price limits which we preset. And in some cases we were looking to renew our energy contracts up to 12 months in advance. competitive tenders is not only good governance, it also makes sure that we get the best deal. And US Energy supplied us with detailed contract offerings so we could make informed decisions with specialist help. And finally, and this is very important, we had to make sure that we could execute contracts swiftly. And 2 members of the executive team were given delegated authority to make sure that the most attractive deals were locked down and the cost savings were achieved. Because a lot of the suppliers would only guarantee the current prices for 24 hours. So in terms of bill validation, as I mentioned earlier, we have a complex portfolio and our initial challenge was to pay for only the sites that we owned. Sounds a bit bizarre, but we didn't check every bill that was presented to our accounts team. I just ask you the question to you. US Energy conducted a full review of our portfolio on the retrospective bills, so that's bills that we've already received, and then they provide an ongoing bill validation service which is outsourced, and they provide that service for us. And there are numerous benefits to this service. I must admit, I was quite surprised at some of the values involved. We were talking about tens of thousands of billionaires, which, again, I think in the olden days we would have paid, and we wouldn't have thought anything of it, but the bill validation process flagged these issues up at an early stage, so we put a stop on the bill with the account, with the energy supplier. But again, this is a complex, time-constraining process which hadn't been high on our list of priorities. Our energy costs are now monitored and managed by a UES energy management system that is linked to our SAP system. So essentially, when we get a utility bill, it comes into Wales West Utilities, we scan it and send it through an electronic interface to UES. UES will check that it's on the right tariff, it's one of our sites, and the usage is in line with what we'd expect to see, and then they send it back and Wales West Utilities pay the bill. So another benefit of this is that we now have accurate energy consumption and cost data, so we can analyse financial performance and meet any requirements we have for carbon. In addition to the procurement and bill validation, as part of our efficiency improvements, we focus on 3 key areas. We've installed the best part of 200 smart meters on our highest usage sites. We've now got bills which are based on our actual energy usage, and we're able to budget more accurately because we deal with real sort of volumes and accurate numbers. We carried out energy audits at our major sites, so we've got 10 major sites that we have across our network. We're currently reviewing the outputs of these audits and developing improvement plans for each of the sites. We've installed 2 50-kilowatt solar PV installations on property we own in Cardiff and in Bridgewater in Somerset. And these sites are now almost self-sufficient, and we're actually exporting energy to the grid. And our latest addition is the purchase of an electric car. We just purchased a Nissan Leaf, which has a range of about 100 miles. And we got a slogan on the side where it's powered by sunlight. We've set up charging posts at the solar PV sites and at our head office, and we encourage staff to use this transport for business purposes. So what have we achieved? Over the last 5 years, I think we've seen some staggering results from our new approach to energy strategy. These include a 20% cost reduction in the first 2 years. We're more confident and we have peace of mind that we're managing our energy strategy in a market-focused way. We've reduced the time and resource that we previously deployed on energy procurement and bill validation. And we have improved reporting with granularity at individual site and departmental level. As I said earlier, our utility bills are fully integrated with our SAP financial system, so whilst the validation is outsourced, Wales and West Utilities retain the intellectual property for all this information. And we've saved over £2.5 million on our energy costs at a time where generally energy costs have been increasing. So if you don't remember anything else from this presentation, no doubt you will as you walk through the door, please consider just 2 elements that we found essential to delivering our energy strategy. First of all, find yourself an energy specialist that you can trust, respect, and you can learn from. We couldn't have done any of this without our energy advisor, UES Energy. Secondly, make sure you create an energy strategy that your senior team buys into. This will enable you to make quick and effective decisions. If you don't have an energy advisor or an energy strategy, feel free to visit the UES stand for some advice. Thank you very much.